welcome back every Thursday right here on News Night at 9 a.m. We are going in depth with the Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley.
This week, we're talking about the department's unit at Will Rogers World Airport and the role they play in keeping passengers safe. Here's Lisa Monahan.
We are back in studio with Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley this morning, and we're talking about the OCPD unit that works at Will Rogers World Airport. Chief, the police substation at the airport is just past security. A lot of people have probably seen this, but what exactly is OCPD doing at the airport?
We're there for any law enforcement related function that may need to be taken care of at the airport. And there's special rules. Obviously, everybody knows when you fly, security, places that areas of the airport that people can't go. So we're there to make sure that all of those rules are being followed, that there's no criminal investigations or anything like that that need to come about. One of the things too about the airport that I don't think a lot of people realize, with Oklahoma City being in the center of the country, we get quite a few diverted flights. So if something happens on an airplane, it's not uncommon if they're going to land that they land in Oklahoma City, because again, we're right in the center of the country for a lot of those cross-country flights.
And very interesting. Okay. Now, I know a big part of what your officers are doing, assisting TSA. We've talked a little bit about how that includes responding anytime agents find guns in luggage. I know it's hard to think that you guys see this often, but the latest data shows that officers checking 43 firearms in luggage from October 2021 to October 2022, one of those resulting in an arrest. Like I said, it's sort of surprising that people are taking guns to the airport. There's a right and a wrong way to do that, though. Kind of walk us through that.
Absolutely. So TSA has specific guidelines on carrying firearms and how those are transported, and they're specific to being in your checked baggage. And then there's rules on how those, the type of cases and things that they have to be in, and the ammunition being separate, and you can get that from the TSA website. But that's the proper way to transport firearms. If you try to go through any checkpoint with a firearm, you're going to be stopped, and that is a crime. There can be federal charges brought against you for trying to do that.
And what's the difference between you guys responding when there's someone who has tried to get through TSA versus that person going to jail?
I think the biggest thing that they look at is oftentimes we're not the decision makers on that. That'll be federal agents that will make the determination on whether or not charges are filed. Sometimes it does fall to local law enforcement, but in most cases what we find out is people actually forget that they have the firearm in there. So they're not doing something intentional to try and get that passed. And so a lot of times that's what we look at, and oftentimes it's not the firearms, it may be just ammunition. They may have a bag that they normally carry a firearm in, and they remove the firearm, but they forget about the ammunition. Well, you can't take the ammunition through the checkpoint either.
Sounds like it keeps you guys pretty busy. I know a place that I personally have seen OCPD the most is out front of the airport, trying to, regulate traffic control there with picking up and dropping off. Talk a little bit about what you need folks to do when they are either arriving to the airport to pick someone up or to leave.
The biggest thing is, just following those guidelines, not what a lot of people want to do is they know their family member or their loved one, their flight's coming in, they know about a time that it's going to be there, and they want to sit right outside the door and wait for them. And so using those waiting areas that the airport has designated, and when the person you're picking up lands, they text you, and then you can come in. So that keeps that area from getting too crowded and keeps it safe too, so that the officers can make sure everything's clear out there. Same thing with moving through in the entryway of the airport. Come in, be prepared, have everything ready, your ticketing and all of that, so that you can go to the luggage baggage, check in, get that done, and then go through security.
Yeah, very good advice. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Chief. We appreciate it. You can submit your questions by sending us an email or watch previous sit-downs at news9.com/chief.